Thank you. So thank you very much. The next.
And now the next presentation, I would like to introduce the student Nguyen Vu Ha Nguyen. Is the topic hypertension screening result amongst other university, the 3M 2019 campaign. Please.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Nguyen. I'm a medical student of the University of Medicine and Pharmacy. Before starting my presentation, I would like to offer my thanks to my supervisor, Professor Minh, for his continuous support and instruction, and also give my thanks to this organizer of this conference. And so today, I represent for my cardiovascular club to present to all of you about hypertension screening result among adults of Kuwait City, according to the May measurement campaign in 2019. This is the structure of my presentation. To begin, let me give you some information about the big deal of rise blood pressure and the May measurement campaign. Rise blood pressure is continued to be the biggest contributor to mortality and disease burden worldwide, leading to 10 million deaths this year. As you may know, hypertension is a silent killer. This is because it has no symptom. And maybe until you are hospitalized for emergency hypertension or for its complication like stroke or myocardial infarction, that you really know you have it. Despite its serious concern, just half of the hypertensive population are aware of their condition. Normally, the hypertension is testable, and the simplest way to detect this disease is blood pressure measurement. And these are also the main objective of the May measurement campaign. This picture illustrates some hypertension risk factors. Here is the two main objectives of our study. Firstly, we would like to estimate the prevalence, awareness, treatment, and control of hypertension among adults in Kuwait City. Secondly, we also evaluate the relationship between hypertension and some of participant characteristics. Let's move to the materials and method. Firstly, I would like to talk about study design and population. Our study is a cross-sectional study with convenient sampling. The total number of participants in our study reached more than 6,000 people. A wide range of locations were set, including hospital, health center, and public areas like supermarket, shopping mall, or school. This survey was conducted in 1 month from May to June in 2019. These are some criteria of participant selection. The target participant of our study is adults who have well physical and well mental health. Besides, we also have some requirements for the participant before measurement to ensure the accurate result, like not using symptomatic drug, not using caffeine beverage at least 1 hour, no smoking at least 15 minutes. Regarding to the inclusion criteria, we include people who refuse to attend the study or timing inadequate for duplicated measurement, and the patient being hospitalized for their hypertensive condition. There are 3 standard steps in blood pressure measurement. Talking about data collection. Firstly, the participant will ask some questions about their demographic and hypertension risk factor through this questionnaire. In the second step, their systemic blood pressure level have been measured 3 times by an automatic sphygmomanometer. And the result were calculated from the mean of the second and third reading. Here is the standard guideline of blood pressure measurement. And here is the real condition when we conduct the measurement for the participant. We use SBS and R software for statistical analysis. In the next slide, I will move to the result and discussion. Following imputation, 6,156 participants were included to analysis. They had a mean age of around 43 years, and the mean systolic blood pressure and diastolic blood pressure were 115.62 and 75.41 millimeter of mercury, respectively. Furthermore, the blood pressure level of men was significantly higher than those of women. This picture illustrates most of the men objectives of our study following imputation. Nearly 1,500 participants were found to have hypertension, accounting for approximately 24% among the total. And among hypertensive group, just about 1,000 people who had a previous diagnosis of hypertension, corresponding to 66.1%. And the proportion of gestational hypertension is nearly 70% among the participants who were aware of their condition, and less than 60% of them were successfully controlled. Thanks to the success of the main measurement campaign, there was a rise in the hypertensive awareness. It has been increased from nearly 61% in 2015 to over 66% in 2019. And besides, there was a relationship between gender, tobacco consumption, obesity or overweight, and diabetes with hypertension. And especially in the analysis, we found a strongly associated between hypertension and history of myocardial infarction and history of stroke. Let's move to the conclusion. To summarize, the finding of the study indicated that hypertensive prevalence of adults in Huế City remain high and tend to increasingly rise in comparison with other studies from 2018 to present. In comparison with other studies, awareness of hypertension has a tendency to progressively increase. The number of gestational hypertension were not really high among the prevalence of hypertension. And among the group of participants who received antihypertensive treatment, the controlled hypertension were quite low. There are some participant characteristics with strongly influences on the impact of hypertension, including smoking, men, overweight or obesity, diabetes, history of myocardial infarction, history of stroke. Furthermore, I would like to talk about some recommendations for the clinician. Firstly, the blood pressure level should be measured on at least 3 occasions according to the standard protocol of the International Society of Hypertension, and the average of the last 2 measurements were calculated and used for the diagnosis and treatment decision. The clinician should consider both non-medication and medication approach for treatment of hypertension. Last but not least, there are most benefits from maintaining and expanding some meaningful campaigns like the main measurement program to other parts of Vietnam for early detection, raising awareness, and providing better treatment of the hypertension. Finally, I am honestly happy to be presented in this conference. Thank you so much for your attention, sincerely.
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation. Is there any question about the topic? Professor Ernest Talarico, please.
I have a question.
Professor Zàng, please.
Thank you so much, Ha Nguyen. You are a student, but you performed scientific research like that. It's very good. Generally, I appreciate your result. Anyway, at this occasion, I have some comment that your study the focus in the prevalence of hypertension in which city. While you use the which city, the sample collected must based on in real activity, not only based on the hospital and the health center. But it's not typical of the hypertension prevalence of the which city. So if possible, you can send your topic, your article. But the hypertension screening result among adults in the Hue Central Hue Hospital or Hue Public Center center health instead of in Hue City. That's the first important. There are two factors for result of public health related concern the prevalence, that is the sample, the number of object with 60,000 like that is enough, but the result is not typical of the Hue City. The second question is that it is a cross-sectional study, so you cannot conclude that is the result of the hypertension increase with the time. Of course, you can based on the result of the other doctor, the other subject, the other author in the other area, the other time to compare with the result today. But while you conclude that the prevalence of hypertension increase, that is yourself, the result of yourself with the time, many times. You see, that is the comment only. Anyway, finally, I can say that I appreciate your study. Anyway, comment only.
Yeah, thank you so much for your comment.
Professor Ernest of Talarico, do I have any question?
It was a very nice presentation, great job and nice research. I'm curious though, as to why you feel that hypertension is increasing. Why is hypertension increasing in your population? And if awareness is increasing, why isn't hypertension decreasing? What is the disconnect? And what needs to be done to overcome that disconnect?
Thank you so much for your question, but I'm sorry I have some problem with my connection. Can you repeat your question, please?
Sure. I'm curious as to why you feel that hypertension is increasing. And in your study,
ông hỏi là sao mà cái tình
your study indicates that awareness of hypertension is increasing. And if that is the case, why is there a disconnect? Because if awareness is increasing, then you would think people would be more aware, they would watch diet, they would watch obesity, and the incidence of hypertension would decrease.
You're talking about the rise in awareness of public about hypertension. I think thanks to the success of the May Measurement Month campaign, we conduct this campaign continuously from 2017 to now to 2019. Yeah, with the success of this campaign, we can raise the awareness of public about hypertension.
Do you think that in part that the increase in the incidence of hypertension could be secondary to the introduction of westernized foods?
Yeah, I think it is, of course, thanks to the success of this conference, we can have the chance to give more information about dietary lifestyle change to the participant. Yeah, it can, in order to have to increase the awareness of public
is also